So I made a video on depression. I think I might have made a video on it in the past as well. Um, it's a very interesting topic, and I think people who overthink and overfeel are most likely to be afflicted by it. The thing is we've labeled depression in a very negative light. But if you were to see it from a positive light, you would realize that all depression is a message that something is not in alignment, something is not balanced, and you need to probably shift yourself in a way that brings yourself back into balance and alignment. A lot of times, I think depression stems from a sense of hopelessness, and it produces a cycle of like, I want to say, when you feel hopeless, you don't think anything is worthwhile. You kind of lose your interest in the things that you normally would be interested in. You kind of hide yourself away from the world because yeah, you just feel a utter sense of hopelessness and despair. And there's nothing wrong with that. Maybe, you know, you need to make a change, and I think because humans are creatures of habit, we don't really take to change very well, but it's definitely a constant that we constantly have to, move through. And I think when we fight that process, we have a tendency to feel hopelessness and despair, and hence the after effects of depression kick in. I think a lot of it has to do also with not understanding the root cause of it. When you don't understand something, it's really hard for you to move through it or even acknowledge it or accept it. What happens when people are depressed is they have a tendency to fight the process instead of recognize what's happening. What's happening is I'm feeling a sense of hopelessness and despair. Um, there's probably things in my life that aren't in alignment with me, but I'm not willing to change. So I'm going to ruminate and get stuck in this particular emotion or vibration. You know what I mean? But the thing is, like, and it's not bad. I just think it's the universe's way of nudging you to like move and change and step forward instead of stay in place. Because think about it, when you're depressed, you have a tendency to stay in place, right? You don't necessarily move anywhere, just kind of static. And we're not meant to be stagnant or static for a prolonged period of time, So, I mean, things you should probably ask yourself, like maybe consider your living conditions, maybe consider some relationships that you're in, maybe consider the relationship you have with yourself, maybe consider your diet, consider, the things you allow into your life, the things you're holding on to, and, reassess and make changes from that stance, you know? But yeah, I don't think depression is bad. I think we haven't been educated. I think we've been very codependent on a very unhealthy health system that just basically feeds you drugs to remedy it temporarily, and yeah, I just feel like, yeah, I mean, we just have to acknowledge that it's a part of life, and it's usually when you're stuck in place that depression kicks in, because you are unwilling to, or, you are, what is that word? When you are I can't think of the word. Reluctant to move forward in a particular sphere of your life, you know? Um, Another way of looking at depression is also like, I like to break it down into rest session, deep rest session, depression. So, if you are someone who has a tendency to overthink and overfeel, I feel like because you overdo it, it has a tendency to like short circuit your system. You know, it's overloaded, it's overwhelmed because you're overthinking and you're overfeeling and you're circulating those feelings and you're circulating those thoughts and those belief systems. And, you know, your body is overwhelmed and it wants you to let go. It wants you to, you know, maybe stop overthinking and stop overdoing. If you think about overthinking and overdoing, that is a byproduct of not trusting life, not trusting the process, not trusting that things unfold accordingly in their own time based on how they need to, you know? So, overthinkers and overfeelers, we have like high expectations, you know, that we impose upon others and ourselves. And that doesn't work. You know, that's a form of like wanting to control everything and everyone around you. And that doesn't work. It works to a degree until it doesn't work. And then you end up depressed. And then you're like, what happened? You know, like, what's wrong? Like, that's why I think people have like midlife crises or existential crises. It's because um, they're going through a transformation process and they haven't quite made the jump yet. So they're in that kind of like purgatory, and they're still kind of like, you know, they know that they need to move forward, but they're still here. So, like, it's almost like I don't know, maybe the mental body or the energetic body is here and it's waiting for the physical body to catch up. And in that process, you know, yeah, it's stuck in place and static. Yeah, like I said, we just haven't been educated properly. Like, I think like we go through so many changes in life and we haven't been taught how to move through changes graciously. We haven't been taught to, you know, overcome fears and obstacles by moving forward. We haven't been taught to let go. You know, I think predominantly we've been kind of trained to consume and consume and consume. Like, but we've never really been taught about the elimination process. You know, as you get older, like maybe the people you used to hang out don't like suit you anymore, or maybe living conditions don't align anymore, or maybe the job that you're at doesn't necessarily, yeah, it's not satisfying. But instead of moving forward and through, which is scary, but if we were taught properly that that's part of the process, maybe we would, you know, move forward with ease. But since we haven't been taught, it's really hard for people to swallow. But once you realize like what is happening and you gain a higher understanding and awareness of the process and you start embracing it instead of rejecting it, I feel like it makes things a lot easier to deal with, and you'll feel much lighter and much brighter instead of, you know, feeling so dark and dense all the time. The darkness and denseness is, I feel, attributed to your inability to let go. You know, let go of relationships that no longer serve you, let go of jobs that no longer serve you, let go of living spaces or circumstances that do not serve you, you know. But yeah, it's all about trusting and relinquishing control and allowing the process and moving through change and feeling discomfort and, you know, not reacting to it and just realizing that that's all a part of the process. Um, in the beginning of this video, I said I made a video on depression, and in that video, I cover journaling and dream, no, journaling and gratitude journals and what I thought about it. I'm not sure if I'm going to post that, but yeah, we'll see. If you learned something from this video, amazing. If you didn't, that's cool too. And thank you for watching. I I actually also wanted to ask a question to see like what topics you'd like me to talk about, because if I had like, I guess, a list of topics to ponder upon, I could probably create more video content. But as of now, I just kind of make videos based on what I feel or think in the moment, and it's pretty spontaneous and random. It's not very consistent. But yeah, if you have questions or topics you want me to cover, I will be glad to think upon these things and possibly make a video. So leave your comments below and have a nice day. Amen.